All right, Kevin's back.
Yes, and we're back to fixing more of our old stuff.
Yeah, so this is the one that we did the bearing in?
No, we haven't done nothing on this one yet.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Completely
nothing,
different machine.
No videos on this one yet anyways.
Okay, all right.
There's a 430 case. This is, yeah, we love this machine. It's fast. It's
mechanical?
It's all mechanical. It's high speed, got a high speed, like a 2-speed drive. The thing does like 14 kilometers an hour down the road. It's pretty awesome.
Nice.
We use it around the farm, you know, feeding cows and picking up bales, and it gets beat on pretty
So what
good.
you're saying is it works really good on all 4 tires?
Yes, so that the other day it got dumped on its side and it laid there for a bit, so we had a bunch of oil run out of it. So
Now we gotta figure out what it is.
now, and it ran good for a day afterwards, and now it's making a funny noise. Do we want to start it up and hear the funny noise? Or we'll start
We
up and hear
do.
the funny noise. All right, well, let's do
Here
that.
we go. All right, so before you start it, what's your diagnosis?
I think it's an injector that's stuck open.
I think you're being hopeful that coincidentally, a day after it's tipped on its side, it's making a fuel knock, and you think it's an injector, mechanical injector on a 4BT that's making noise. I see oil coming out of the intake and the exhaust. I haven't heard it run yet, but I'm thinking you've got somebody hydrolocked it.
It's possible that we need to put an engine in it, but
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yep. You're hopeful. I'm skeptical.
He's skeptical. I'm hopeful because we had the same problem with that 440 track that we put the wheel seal in.
Yeah.
It was doing the same thing, an injector
It was
fixed
knocking.
it.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So let's hear it run. Sounds normal.
That's normal.
That's normal. Sounds like my Tahoe. It's definitely missing.
Definitely missing, and it's only got that knock when you're revved out.
Yeah.
You would think if it was mechanical, you'd hear it knocking at a half throttle.
Yeah.
And it was revved out, it should be knocking, like, I know what a piston knock sounds like. Ask me about my combine. Like, you could hear it in the cab.
Yeah, it's a lot of blue smoke. Like it is blue smoke coming out.
Yeah,
of
it's
there,
overfueled.
So, yeah, there's no oil pressure gauge, just the light in there, right?
Just the light, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and it's not on.
It's not on.
Okay.
It goes on with the key, like now. Now it's on.
Well, that's good. That means it works.
And then it goes off. So,
Yeah.
so I'm thinking that we're gonna tip the cab and then we're gonna pull the injectors and put them on you have a tester,
I
right?
got a tester. We'll test them.
Test them and see. If they're all good, then
Awesome.
then
No, it's not awesome.
it's not good. It's not awesome if they're all good. That's very bad if they're all good.
I think I have some injectors for this thing. All right, close this up and drive her in. You're good. Yeah.
Pull the head to be a little bit more out of the way, but then we can't see.
Yeah. So Kevin poured concrete in his shop and it's beautifully lit and he's got outlets, but you're renting it out to the
The camperee's got it tied up for another 4 weeks, so we're back to where I started 10 years ago in this shack.
Nice. So no lighting, but not great lighting, but bear with us because yeah, we got to keep the floor clean and
Yeah, and who knows if this thing ends up would be more people are working out of there all the time.
yeah.
3 more weeks. Then that's anyways.
Good. All right, so Kevin's going to pull the injectors, and you don't have a compression tester for a diesel, do you?
No.
No, and I've been told they're useless except to compare cylinder to cylinder, because if your tester isn't the exact same size as the injector, your compression test
Right.
does nothing, because
Right.
that little bit of a difference will actually drop, but that does allow you to compare cylinder to cylinder. We'll check the injectors. If not, make a run to, I think Princess Auto does have diesel compression tester, so I do have to go there in the next day or two to get your torches for you.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and I still have your tank for welding too. But yeah, you're gonna pull the injectors, blow it clean, and then drop them off at my place. I gotta go to my place because Andy's waiting on my place for another skid steer, so a completely different video. Here we go. Okay, so number 4, what happened?
This thing was super stuck. This nut is supposed to spin on the injector.
Yeah.
And this little thing sits in a little groove in the head, right? This ball?
Yeah.
Well, what happened, this is the only one, got stuck on the injector so it wouldn't turn. It was trying to turn the ball around. So it was a big fight. So I took the seal, there's supposed to be a little seal in here, took that out, put all kinds of penetrating oil in there, WD-40, tapped it. Anyway, so then I made myself a socket. I ground it out so it fit on top of the injector because it takes a 15 mil wrench like this, but the wrench would go like this, right?
Yep.
And then I worked that, and then I got Rich's torches and we heated this up. And what eventually did it was I just had the socket on there, I pounded it on there good and tight, and then just put the impact on there.
Okay.
With the penetrating oil and the vibration.
Yep.
And then it just slowly rattled loose. But you can see, like, I was torquing out so bad, I got the injector toast.
Yeah.
So this injector's VNR bound.
Yeah. You know, you don't use slide hammer yanking it up?
Well, I couldn't get, like, this thing was so stuck in the nut, right? Like, it wouldn't, like, this thing, it's tight, right? Like that thing holds everything down. Yep. In order to get room to slide hammer it up, you got to get that nut turned at least a quarter turn, right?
Right.
So.
Oh, because the nut was stuck on.
Yeah. If you can get the nut off and just the injector stuck in the hole, then yeah, you can slide hammer them out. Or what I just did was just, it's usually that's the way you just put a pry bar under there and give it a little, pops out. That's what the other 3 did.
And I've done it where I put a washer underneath here and a spacer on the lock collar,
just back it out.
and then back the nut collar, and it like pushes it out, right?
Which is great for when the injector's stuck in the hole, but when the injector's stuck in the nut, this is just a disaster.
Yeah, so
it turns the 2-hour job into a 2-week job.
You look hot and sweaty and bothered.
It's hot outside. It wasn't hot when I started this job.
So, I don't have anything. Just stick that over it.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be safe.
All we need is to see if it pops, right? Yeah, because this is to say whether the engine...
It could be really stuck now.
It's really stuck. That's 4,000 PSI.
Is that really stuck because I got it really stuck, or is it really stuck because that's where it was?
That's where it was, but I can't get anything out.
No, but did I screw it getting it out?
Yeah, I think you did. That collar's just jammed in there, but... well, you need a new injector anyway.
Yeah.
So...
hopefully this is the problem.
Yeah, it's not popping at all. I'm at 4,500 PSI, and it should be popping at before 3,500.
Would we take the injector apart just to see? Let's do that.
Yeah.
A long time since I had an injector apart.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, this comes off.
Yeah. And then that needs to move. Well, you might get lucky because I don't think you wrecked that part.
No, I wouldn't have wrecked that part. That needle is stuck.
Nice.
Should we try it with the vice grips? Because we're just gonna junk this anyways. No, they always put new tips.
Kevin's winning the bet. I thought it was engine noise. You're like fuel knock. Yeah, you didn't do that with torches and beating.
Oh my goodness, that is some. There we go.
So yeah, that might under massive pressure do something and then stay open, right?
Right.
And then dump a bunch of fuel in there. Now, why is that the coincidence with having it on its side?
As I said, it ran great for a day.
That's crazy. I would have never thought.
So that's
you can see how it's all
right. So
colored on the end.
My theory is that if it's stuck open, it's dumping fuel in.
Yes.
When it's idling, it just smokes like crazy. But then when you rev it up, it's got enough compression to pre-ignite the fuel.
Okay.
So it ignites before that piston's over top dead center.
Yep.
And that's why you get the knock.
Ah.
And if you run it a long time like that,
Then you got an engine.
then you get to...
So we were both right, essentially.
Yeah. If we just would have hammered down for a while, yeah, she would have been done.
When in doubt, rev it up, man.
That's right. So anyways, we're gonna get an injector.
You just spraying it randomly on computers and shit? Where are you
No, I
going?
had the bag on there. I didn't have the guy holding it. This is one of mine. That's quite a bit more. That's almost 4,000. They're all over the place. That's case injectors, right?
Yeah, well, you think these are original?
Oh yeah. We never had them out. We've had this thing for quite a while.
So what happened? You bought another used one?
Yes.
Okay.
Throw those in. What?
Yeah, and you can throw it in, and
We're gonna throw it in. We're gonna try it.
so just testing the used one compared to yours
Yeah. They're all popping about the same. They're all spraying nice.
within a couple hundred psi.
Within a couple thousand psi. So
Awesome.
we're gonna get some new seals and some new washers for the bottoms, and
I might have
These
some
things.
if you need.
oh really?
Princess Auto, man.
All right, we got our injectors. So I'm gonna put some never sees right here where this nut sits, so that it won't seize in for the next time if we have to do this again. These washers, I got new washers. So one of the injectors, this one that was junk, the washer is stuck in the hole, so we're gonna have to get that out. So you gotta make sure you get the washers out, because it's not good if you have two washers in there. This is the other injector we got. Look at the wrong size washer on. So anyways, I got new washers. Got new washers here, and I got new seals for the top. There's supposed to be a little seal in here. It's supposed to keep this stuff from getting in there, which is gonna seize it up. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna put these in, we're gonna clean the holes out, and see if that gets it running good. I'm pretty confident that this is gonna fix it. I think Rich is starting to believe me. So here we go.
Anything you want to say?
Yeah, no, other than the steel line, because I was monkeying around in there so hard, that steel return line was hard to get on. You had it tweaked a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? So then it makes it tough.
Just don't cross thread those little.
I know.
Bolts.
Oh man, that was took a lot of time to make sure they went in straight.
Unless you've got good insurance, because you guys are dealing with a lot of hay, and so you spill a little bit of diesel really slowly,
Yeah.
and then
So it's
up she goes.
Are you ready to try this thing? Or
We're
what?
ready to try it.
All right.
So how confident are you that that's the fix?
98.5.
98. See, I think I was biased because you told me it was laying on its side the day before. I'm like, usually there's no coincidences.
He's ready making excuses. Ready?
Yep.
Contact.
You got smoke?
So this thing's never run great cold, and it's always started like that. Like you got to crank and crank and crank to go. So I did a bunch of Googling research. So we looked for bulletins. There was no bulletins, but some guys are saying something wrong with the pump from the factory. That either the timing was out or there's some fix for it. So maybe we get you guys know what that is.
Yeah,
let me know.
I think
so
if you advance the timing, these pumps they're just slotted, right? So
yeah.
So if you advance it a little bit, I think that does help.
Once you're running for about 15, 20 minutes, it usually just runs awesome after that and just fires right up and it does its thing. But it's just in the morning, it just doesn't run right, and it kind of like when you stomp on it, it kind of misses a bit and smokes, and then once things warm up. So I don't know if the advance and the pump is stuck.
Okay.
Right, so that once it's warmed up.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, the smoke is gone at idle, but it's definitely not gone when it's cold at full throttle.
Right.
But that's just a diesel.
It's always
not unburnt fuel.
And it's not knocking anymore.
It's not knocking anymore.
So I think we're good to go.
Nice.
So we'll put it to work and we'll get it warmed up and then we'll see.
Very good. So yeah, proper diagnosis, and that was a nice one. I thought for sure just because it was on its side, it's like there's no coincidences, but definitely the first thing.
So I had in my back pocket was I just done a 440 last year.
Oh, okay.
I was doing the same thing. It was Doug's. That's that track machine. We put the and he was out back there working, and also he says, "Oh man, this thing is knocking and smoking." We're bringing it in. I'm like, "Oh, I wonder if it's injectors." And put injectors in, and away it went.
Because I've never had a mechanical injector fail like that.
No?
Never had one that stuck before.
My 2366 used to fail them like one a year.
Oh, really?
Always the number one cylinder. I don't know what it was. It was always number one cylinder. It would stick, and then they would miss and carry on. And then we started putting in this stuff.
ATF? I was gonna say throw a bunch of ATF in your fuel. Oh yeah. But if you and I guess that's what the diesel shop says. Oh, you got crap in your fuel. Like, I don't know, there's something in the tank or whatever. We put that in, and it would run great. Yeah. The problem with. But I'm like, well, how come only the combine's doing it? The rest of the equipment just runs fine. But so the skid steers always get the crap fuel because it's usually jerry cans, right? So if it's not you, I'm saying like normal operations, they get crap fuel, they get water in the fuel, they get crap at the bottom of the jerry can.
Well, I'm sure dumping it on the side didn't help.
No,
shook all the bottom all the crap from the bottom of the tank.
That could very well be it. Yeah, right? that could be a reason too. Yeah.
So we got to change the oil now, and I just put new air filters in it because you can see the little oil soaked on the side. Yeah. And then, but we should change the fuel filter and the engine oil now. And
awesome.
Give her.
All right. It's early in the day, and you've got the rest of the day to use it, or work lined up for it. So good luck.
Yeah. And maybe we'll be back at the end of the day.
Yeah, right on.
Okay, so fail. Got her going. Was running not too bad. Sounded better when it warmed up. It ran for an hour, pretty decent, and then it started missing again. So I don't know if it's the used injector. I put the used in over here. This is the one that number 2 is already shot. If it's the same cylinder, it's gone again, or the used injector, or one of the other ones, because we lodged something loose when we had them out. So I guess we're done being cheap, and we bought 4 new reman injectors, had them overnighted in. So we're gonna do this proper this time. You know, when it's your the last one I did was somebody else's, so we just put 4 injectors in and it ran great. And then when it's your own, you're like, oh well, these 3 are still testing good. Why are we gonna spend the money on that? Well, that did not work out for me this time. The good news is, at least the second time you do it, you know that none of them are going to be seized up. So this should go quick and easy. And we know exactly what we're doing now. They should just all pop right out. And so a couple hours, hopefully we have it running again.
so what happened?
Well, like I said, we got cheap. We put one used injector in and all the other used ones, and after an hour it started doing the same thing. Not quite as bad though, like the knock is not quite as loud.
Okay.
But you can hear it, and it's like, you know what? So we got 4 reman injectors now we're putting in.
Okay.
But I'm just curious to know which one went. If it was, so this one is in the same cylinder that the last one was seized in, but this is one of the other 3 original ones. And this is the used one we got. So I don't know, but I just checked number 1. Number 1 and it was fine. So
what are you thinking now? That
I'm hoping it's the used one, because that'll make, if it's number 2 that is shot again, then it starts to wonder, oh, why is the same injector going? So interesting enough, I had that on my 2366. It would always lose number 1 injector.
Oh.
After a year, it would seize up again.
So is that injection pump, or is that like you're thinking because it rolled over, all the crap from the bottom of the tank went through all the fuel?
That's what I'm wondering. So the guy, when I complained about that to the guy from the diesel shop, he says, well, you've got water in your fuel.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, but it's only always losing number 1, and it's only on the combine. Everything else, like the other 10 Cummins engines, are running fine, but the 8.3 in the combine would lose number, and it would seize that, just like we had here. It would seize that point.
They're both inline pumps?
Yeah.
So is that the one that gets?
Yeah. So then, anyway, he gave me the standardized fuel treatment.
Yeah.
And as long as I put that in the combine, it would run no problem.
Okay.
And then you'd quit, and 6 months later, or a year later, she'd leave them. So I don't know. There was a change up on those engines. The snubber valves and the pumps would go, something would go wrong with them, and they would let little pieces of metal up, and they'd seize the injectors.
Oh, okay.
So supposedly that machine had gotten the update, but it came out of Case Engineering, so I was pretty sure maybe it didn't. So that would have been my guess, is that what was wrong.
Okay.
But we'll never know, because that thing is now toast. Literally.
Yeah.
But it ran, like, yeah, Brian never had any trouble. It ran great for him for 3 years. I don't think he's put any stuff in.
Okay.
So.
All right, injector number 2. Now what happens if you don't find any bad injectors?
And hammer down till the motor blows. Nope. Injector number 2 is Futso.
Yeah, it blew right through the back.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty good.
So we are.
Don't stick your fingers there.
We're just rust proofing your electrical here.
We need to move those.
It's just like WD-40. So should we just skip right to number 4?
Skip right to number 4. Skip a whole step. One quick step, because that would take an extra 3 minutes.
Yeah, well, I'm impatient, right? Like, let's just get to the back of the book and see what happens.
Oh, that one's dead and that one's alive. Don't need to read the whole story.
Nope, number.
Oh. Yeah, that's fine.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
What if they're all not? What if they're all good? I'm gonna go get the compression tester.
Yeah, I did not buy one from Mrs. Auto.
You said you did.
I said I was going to, but then we found the bad injector, so
That's
I put the money towards your new torch set.
And that was a really bad injector.
This is hole 3?
This is the last one, hole 3.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
But are any of them maybe popping early? Now what, boss?
Now, are the other injectors in already?
No.
No? Yeah, compression test and oil pressure test. I would still put a gauge on that filter housing and see what oil pressure you're getting. This is the look of concern on Kevin. Not that it needs an engine job, but that he has no time to do an engine job.
That was not leaking, is it? If you go, nope, just goes and it pops.
Yeah.
This is annoying.
All right, so where'd you get the compression tester?
Lunthoff's Equipment.
Nice.
Your favorite place to go to rent skid steers, lifts. They do a lot of lifts.
They do a lot of good things for the.
That's where the forklift came from.
The towns.
That's where I bought my forklift from.
Yeah.
Anyways, good guys.
All right.
Equipment. All right. You want me to do
Got
the
the fuel
crank?
disabled?
What?
Got the fuel disabled?
No, why? Should we?
I'm gonna fire it up on 3 cylinders.
You see any injectors in there?
Oh, okay.
It'll be hard to run. If it runs like this.
I did not know. Okay, you think it's number 1?
Well, number one's gonna give us the baseline.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep. So it jumps to 275.
275?
275 for number
good or
1.
bad?
What's that?
Is that good or bad?
That's probably okay.
Isn't it supposed
Like
to
I
be?
said, it doesn't mean anything unless it's exactly the same as.
Isn't it supposed to be like 1,000? You know what?
What does the manual say?
This is the first time I've done a compression test on a diesel.
Actually, me too.
Honestly, yes. I've never done one on a diesel.
The gauge isn't staying put. It drops right away, so it's bouncing. That's annoying.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was supposed to have a little.
It's supposed to have a check valve.
Yeah, and this thing here's got a little valve in it too.
Well, both valves are not functioning.
You ready?
Yeah. Cylinder 2. 120.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the one that the injector was messed up.
Yeah, that's not good. I can go home and grab my check valve on mine real quick, just to remove any doubt.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be right back. You ready?
Yeah.
Here.
Probably around 200.
Okay.
So that one is a little low. But is it low like?
Well, I swear the first one went up to 300.
250. So we're thinking number 2 has got an issue.
Yeah, maybe it's just a bent push rod.
Well, that's what Doug thought. Doug's like, before you're ripping the head off, he says, pull the valve cover.
Yeah. Okay, so we're at like 275, and then
Weak.
120, and then 220. You figure?
But interesting that number 2 cylinder is the one that we had all the trouble with the injector.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
So, I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me yet.
No, that's too bad. All right, valve cover's coming off, and we'll see if the rockers are moving. Maybe a valve lash.
Yeah, maybe.
We had I had one where the valve lash was so tight because everything was worn. What happened? The valves weren't even seating. I had 0 lash on a 12 valve cover. So we're doing the test on number 2 one more time just to confirm. So we're gonna let Kevin look at it, and then this is still dry. And we'll throw some oil down the cylinder and see if it goes up.
It's like the first time it jumped like to 200 and then it stayed at 120.
Yeah. Got some 80, 90?
Yeah, I got lots of it. What do you want? 85, 140. Just put some grease down there.
It's not 85, 140, it's a 430.
Just dump her in, get it on the exhaust, get a fire going.
We already mixed it with the diesel, yeah. That's not bad.
How much do you want in there?
I think that should do.
Lock it up.
It'll now we hydrolock it. There's a big dish in that piston. Is it just gonna sit in that piston dish?
It's gonna go in this room in our hose here, right?
Take your blowgun and blow it in there. Maybe spread it around because there's just a big dish in the top of the piston, is there not? So the Cummins pistons do have a big dish in the center of it, so we just took the blowgun and blew it in there to try and push it out of the dish and have it hit the cylinder walls, but we'll see if this does anything. If it jumps to 300, then we got issues. So then what, you think it got stuck open and you washed the cylinder? Does that make sense? That still doesn't explain the knock.
Yeah, only at high idle.
Only on high idle.
Right.
Not under load?
They're putting around, but we don't run it under load high idle. Okay, just putt. Just putt. Take that 150, 175.
So,
It's still low.
but it went up a hair?
It went up a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so from here, the valves look okay. The lash,
There is lash.
there is lash, so it means that the valves are closing all the way.
Unless there's something stuck underneath the valve, which...
Nah.
Nah, I'm not thinking.
Want some seafoam?
What?
Says a diesel guy. What? So from here, we're gonna throw the reman injectors in. Cross your fingers. The flutter is probably because it's low in compression, but let's see if it starts knocking again. If it does, the head's coming off. And,
Well, the motor's coming out then.
You're pulling the motor?
Well, if we gotta put
Yeah, it's
you're
not,
gonna pull the head off, and you're gonna find out that we got a bent rod, and then you gotta pull the motor out.
Yeah.
Then you might as well put the injectors in, so the whole thing's sealed as a unit.
Yep.
Pull the motor out, wash it,
Yep.
and then go.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but you said the head's coming off. I'm like, okay. Well,
But
the head's
that's what I
coming off.
meant was
After the engine comes out.
after the engine comes out, the head's coming off. Sorry, it's right back to that book. I like to go right to the end.
All right. Have fun. I'm gonna go work on my skid steer. We got a bet going to see who can get their skid steer running first.
Well, it'll be yours because if this engine's got to come out, it's gonna get.
Do you want to rent my skid steer?
It's
It's,
gonna
not
be-
really my skid steer,
gonna
but
be-
I'll rent you Tuesley's skid steer if you
It's
need
gonna
it.
be in the back burner because there's 150 things that are ahead of it. Although we will have the shop back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so this is new filters and new reman injectors. Look at how shiny that looks in there. Wow. All right. So what are you expecting, Kevin?
What am I expecting?
Yeah.
I'm expecting that there's going to be a sequel to this video.
Perfect answer. But this, yeah. So we'll see.
So it might not go because we just bled the filter out, so it might have to. It might go, might not.
Okay.
All right.
Full throttle.
Cross your fingers.
I think it sounds better than it did last time.
Runs like that pretty good. So I think that obviously there's something wrong with number 2. Yeah. Right? So that's missed. So if we wouldn't have done all the checks, I'd say we're good to go. But because we know that that thing is low and it's got that,
It has a little tiny miss to it, but that being said, I don't think it needs an immediate fix.
no, but I still think it's worth pulling the head.
Yeah?
But you saw the compression, right? Maybe that rod is just got a slight bend to it, and that piston is just not. Maybe it's coming up 20 thou short,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because it's
It doesn't even need that much. 10 thou short would do it. But
And that's what I'm wondering, if it's just
But you
because it went over running, right? It went over running.
yes,
It wouldn't shut off. So if it's got a little like,
it was running on its side.
he tried to shut it off, but it wouldn't go. It was eating its own oil, right? So, like I said, those tractors that we had new that had bent rods in them because they came in on the top of the boat and they got water in them.
Yeah.
And they started them up and they never knocked or anything, but they just wouldn't run like kind of like this, you know. Runs okay, but it's just not like a new tractor should. And one rod, just a tiny bit bent, just wouldn't come up quite the same as the other ones. Yeah. And you know, we put a new rod in and worked perfect fitting. Yeah. So that's my gut, is that this thing's getting a rod. Now, that being said, it's never run beautiful, especially when it's first started up, that you'd say, man, this is a nice sounding machine. It's always always something off with it.
It's just a 4BT.
So, yeah. So, you know, maybe that number 2 always has something wrong with it. Maybe it's got a scored cylinder. I don't know, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I wonder if that's also could be the case, maybe running on a side, scored cylinder.
Yeah.
And that's why we got low compression.
Yeah.
That's possible.
Yep. So, so what are you gonna run it for a bit and see if the knock comes back?
Yeah, we'll run her and see if the knock comes back for sure. And but when do we pull the motor out? I don't know. We have to wait till haying's done. Yeah. But yeah, I know it's.
Wait till you have a nice shop.
Well, though, for sure. Yeah. But it looks good at your shop. You need,
it does not have room for that.
Your shop's too many cars. You need some equipment in there again.
That is true.
Well, it's official. She's junk.
Oh.
How long did you run it for? 2 or 3 hours? But he just putts around.
Yeah.
That kind of comes though. I don't think that's diesel knock.
No, that's not diesel knock anymore. So there's your update. There's the diagnosis. I think we should have put an oil pressure gauge on it sooner, but everything else.
I don't think it would have saved us anything.
It wouldn't have saved you anything, but it would have verified that there was an issue, right? So whether we would have saved the crank or not.
Moral of the story is keep your skid steer on the tires.